Hello and welcome back to Pharma E-Class. I am Anindya Goswami and we were discussing the basics about evaporation. So in the previous lecture we have defined what evaporation is, what is its mechanism, and also we have studied the basic differences between evaporation and the other heating processes. We had also already covered previously as well the factors which affect the rate of evaporation, and we have seen that temperature, surface area, the method of agitation, the vapor pressure of pure water, the economic factors and the nature of the product which we require. These are the basic factor which is to be considered to improve or to check the rate of evaporation. Now the evaporation process industrially happens inside evaporators by the machines which are engaged in this process are called as evaporators. So we will start with the evaporators in this lecture. So evaporators are classified according to the form of the movement, that is the movement of the vapor or movement of the circulation of the fluid. That is, we have natural circulation evaporators, we have forced circulation evaporators, and we have film evaporators. So what are the natural circulation evaporator? Where the movement of the steam is occurring naturally. The machines which are employed for this process in this principle, that is evaporating pans, evaporating steels, and the most commonly used short tube evaporators. The forced circulation evaporator, where definitely there is some forcefully the solution is being fed and the circulation is not happening naturally. That's why its name is named as forced circulation evaporators. And last but not the least, the film evaporators, also quite routinely followed, and they are long tube evaporators, basically of two types, like climbing film evaporators and long tube evaporators having with falling film evaporators. So basically we have three types, so we can classify it into three basic types. Come to the most commonest one, evaporating pan. That is a natural circulation evaporator. See its construction. Simply, there is a vessel, very common one, a simple hemispherical bottomed vessel with a steam jacket is being. This is the jacket. This one. This is the jacket. This is the steam inlet. This is the product outlet, and this is the condensation outlet, and this is the air vent through which air can pass. Come to its construction, as we evident from the diagram also. Let us see what is its construction. The apparatus consists of a hemispherical or shallow pan constructed from a suitable material such as maybe copper or maybe stainless steel and surrounding by a steam jacket. So this is a jacket portion is ripped inside in the bottom of the hemispherical pan. The hemispherical shape gives the best surface to volume ratio and hence the largest area for the separation of the vapor. The pan may have a mounting permitting to be tilted to remove the product, but the shallow form makes this arrangement somewhat unstable, and hence an outlet is provided at the bottom only. Next, working. A dilute solution which is to be evaporated is taken at the pan. Steam is to be produced. So if you see the working principle, that is the dilute solution is taken in the pan which is to be evaporated. Steam is introduced through the steam inlet into the jacket behind the or beneath the pan, below the pan, to heat the pan. And in this evaporator, the movement of the liquid results from convection currents set up by the heating process. The concentrated liquid is collected through the product outlet placed at the bottom of the pan. It is advantageous because it is simple and cheap type of process. Design is quite simple one, and it is easy to use, it is easy to clean, and definitely easy to maintain. Come to the disadvantage, because we will see later on there are some improved versions of evaporating pan. If evaporating pan would have been that much cheap and that much advantageous, so all of the liquid would have been evaporated in this pan, but that does not happen because it has a lot of disadvantages. What are those? Having only natural circulation, the overall coefficient of heat transfer is definitely poor, and the solids are likely to deposit on the surface. That is a problem leading to decomposition of the product and further deterioration in the heat transfer. So it is not absolutely proper. It also can can cause some give rise to some foaming action. That is also a problem. The total liquor is heated overall the time, which may be unsatisfactory for the thermolabile material because it is constantly heated. So thermolabile materials is not very comfortable we cannot do in this type of evaporating pans. The heating surface is limited and decreases proportionally as the size of the pan increases. The pan is open, so vapor passes to the atmosphere, which can lead to saturation of the atmosphere. Next, only aqueous liquid can be evaporated by this process successfully, and the pan evaporation cannot be done under reduced pressure, which is we have to do a lot of changes in this apparatus, in this design, so that we can also take into consideration about the reduced pressure type, which is maybe that much not for this purpose under reduced pressure. In when we want to do it, these pans cannot be used. And lastly, can only be used for thermolabile products. That is, for this particular process where the heating process is quite long, so we cannot employ this type of simple evaporating pans. So instead we do it with evaporating stills. This is quite advantageous, and almost that pan has got a cover. Just see the diagram between the previous one and this one. So this is an evaporating still, but an improved one. So what has happened to it? The basic evaporating pan is same at the bottom, which has got a cover, and through the cover that the vapor is coming. Here there is a condenser, the vapor is coming here, it is cooled here, and we can get the condensate outlet over here. So a simple change in the design of evaporation pan has resulted into a new machine, that is evaporating stills. So it consists of a complete construction, jacketed evaporating pan with a cylindrical cover that connects it to a condenser. The overall assembly is called still, STILL. The cover is clamped with the evaporating pan. Yes, this is the cover part, and this is the pan, that is a simple evaporating pan. It is clamped, it is particularly connected. Next, come to its working. We know the dilute liquid is fed into the still, and the cover is then clamped. The steam is introduced into the jacket just like an evaporating pan, and the liquid is evaporated and constantly into that condensate thing we can do in the condenser, we can condensate the vaporizable liquid. The product, that is a concentrated product, it is collected through the product outlet only. Come to its advantages: simple construction, easy to clean and maintain. The vapor is removed by condensation process, so there is no need to take care of the vapor. The vapor is removed by condensation, which speeds the evaporation process, reduces inconvenience, and allows the equipment to be used for solvents other than water, like maybe for ethanol also. Next, a receiver and vacuum pump can be fitted. There can be improvement in the stills too. So a receiver and a vacuum pump can be fitted to the condenser, so that permitting the operation to be used under reduced pressure and hence at lower temperature. For that purpose, if we do that change, we can do this evaporation, or we can use this evaporating still for even for thermolabile products, liquids also. Disadvantage definitely will be there. Natural convection only, that is the disadvantage. Not any other modes of convection occurs. All the liquor is heated all the time. The entire liquor, because it is basically structured same as a pan, evaporating pan. The heating surface is limited. That is also a point, because this is only the hemispherical surface and that surface is also limited. Yet it is widely used. Aqueous and other solvents can be evaporated by this process. Thermolabile materials can also be evaporated, but there are some other evaporating machines, assemblies, better where thermolabile products we can do, we come to later on. But in this, under reduced pressure, if a pump and a condenser is connected properly, so we can do it at a reduced pressure and at a particular lower temperature, then we can do it with we can go ahead with the thermolabile liquids as well. Removing the steel head, it is convenient for evaporating extracts to dryness. So remove the cover head, then we can continue the process so that we can even get a dry extract, nearly a dry extract as well. Next, come to a quite important assembly that is very routinely we find in the industry, basket type vertical short tube evaporators, which is the basic evaporation assembly which is used in a pharmaceutical and other industries. So this is the design, this is an entire assembly where these are an important part, and this part is called as the calandria. The C, this part is dotted and this part is called the calandria, and it is providing some tubes like the structure, and that circulation can constantly happen. So this is the product outlet, this is the condensate outlet, this is the central downtake or the gap between the calandria, in space of the calandria. This is the steam inlet, this is the liquor inlet, and this is the liquor level which is to be maintained, and this is the liquor level which is to be maintained, and this is the vapor to the condenser. So a condenser to the vapor will move up, and it is connected to the condenser where we can condense the liquid as well. Come to the construction. So the evaporator is a cylindrical vessel. The lower portion of the vessel consists of a nest of tubes. These are actually a nest of tubes, this, the calandria part, and the most important part. From now onwards, whatever evaporators will study, will find this part is common. So it is a nest of tube, and that nest of tube with a liquor inside and steam outside, and this particular assembly is called as calandria. So what is the specification of the calandria? So these are the tubes. These are the small tubes, very narrow, and steam is outside only. This is the steams. These are the steams part. This, the dotted ones. So the calandria tube length is having around 1 to 2 meters for a short tube evaporator, and the tube diameter may be 40 to 80 millimeters. Now the diameter of the evaporator is 2.5 meters, and how many tubes can be connected in the calandria? Up to 1000 tubes. So this is the specification of the calandria for the short tube evaporators. The tube length, the diameter, the rate of diameter of the evaporator, and this is the number of tubes which can be connected. The feed inlet is at the top. This is the liquor inlet. This is the feed inlet. At the top of the calandria, it is obviously at the top of the calandria, and the product outlet is obviously at the bottom, and steam inlet and outlet is placed from the side of the calandria. This is the liquor inlet, this is the steam inlet, as well as the steam outlet is provided the sidewise. So the basic construction part, this is that is quite important, that is for the calandria part only. Come to the working. The feed is introduced through the feed inlet, and the liquor is maintained, the level of the liquor at that point. So see the level of the liquor, this is the liquor level. So the feed is introduced through the feed inlet, and the liquor is maintained at a level slightly top of the tubes in the calandria, and the space above this is left for the removal or the movement of the vapors from the boiling liquor. Now the liquor in the tubes is heated by the steam and begins to boil, and when the mixture of the liquid and vapor will shoot up the tubes in a similar manner to that of a liquid that is allowed to boil vigorously in a test tube. That is exactly the process that happens, and this sets up a circulation with boiling liquor rising up in the smaller tubes of the calandria, and then also returning down. See, the vapor is moving up and up, and obviously the heating process that is circulated also. So sometimes it can come down also, and then again this is going on. So this is a natural circulation process. Okay, so this sets up a circulation with boiling liquor rising up the smaller tubes of the calandria and returning down with the larger through the central downtake. So what is the central downtake? The gap between the steam portion and the tubes. This is the gap portion, that is the central downtake. The product is collected obviously through the product outlet present at the bottom. Next, let us see the working also. So the feed, that is come to its advantage also, that is yes, the use of the tubular calandria increases the heating process, heating area, possibly by a factor of 10 to 5 compared to that of an external jacket. So this is for that purpose you will find this type of calandria So the use of this tubular calandria advantageous, and hence we will find this type of arrangement in most of the evaporators, particularly the short evaporators. So the use of tubular calandria increases the heating area possibly by a factor of 10 to 15 compared to that of an external jacket. The vigorous circulation reduces the boundary layers and keeps solids in suspension, so increasing the rate of heat transfer as well. The condenser and the receiver can be attached to run the evaporation under vacuum with non-aqueous solvents. For the purpose of non-aqueous solvents also we can use short tube evaporators. And obviously it comes with certain disadvantages as well. Since the evaporator is filled to a point above the level of the calandria, a considerable amount of liquid is heated for a long time. This effect is continual, can be reduced to some extent by removing the concentrated liquor slowly from the outlet during this process also, as the boiling continues through from the bottom of the vessel. Complicated design, difficult for the cleaning and maintenance purpose. Yes, because the nest of the tubes, it is having up to 1000 tubes we can attach. So it is a complicated design because the tubes are also containing the liquids are also containing the solids maybe. So there can be depositions at the tubes. So time to time we have to dismantle all the intercalandria and then we have to clean all the tubes. The pressure head of the liquor increases pressure at the bottom of the vessel, and in large evaporators where liquor depth is to be maybe the order of 2 meter, this may give rise to a pressure of about 0.25 bars, leading to an elevation of the boiling point by maybe 5 to 6 degrees. So this can be a disadvantages for different types of this short tube evaporators.